Have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, this whole saga surrounding Caitlin Clark is unbelievable. I mean, I've only been covering sports for 3 years, but I've been a fan for decades, and I've never experienced anything like this. Every single day, there is a story in the news cycle around something that happened to or for the WNBA or Caitlin Clark. So in this episode, we're going to continue to unpack that, but we will also share with you the top 5 waiver wire targets for WNBA Fantasy, and we're going to talk a little NBA Dynasty Fantasy. We believe every NBA fan that plays fantasy football should also play fantasy basketball. So my timeline is going crazy, y'all. Every time I check out trending topics, Caitlin Clark is at the top of the list. Not the Lakers trying to find a new coach, not the NBA Finals, but in fact, a WNBA player. I am on the record saying, I don't give a shih tzu puppy who you are, where you are, what you believe in. This woman can be, possibly, it could be debated, that she is the most famous and most polarizing figure in basketball, maybe even in sports. But the arguments that are happening, it's almost like a political debate at this point. It feels like there's a right, there's a left, there's a Republican, there's a Democrat. If you go into the comment section right now, you'll see people standing their ground, 10 toes down, ready to spin the block around their beliefs. And honestly, some of it is a little messy. People are using race, people are using, sexual orientation, all kinds of topics besides the basketball. So that's what it is. That's what's happening. And we're going to talk more about it. But before we do that, I want to talk about Bet Online. Bet Online is your number one source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, the game starts here. So we've been doing the Caitlin Clark watch. We're going to talk a little bit about the news surrounding her. But before we do that, let's talk basketball. So I want to just take a look at her recent stats, what's been going on with CC, aka Caitlin Clark, and let's jump right on in. So let's first start with June 7th, right? On June 7th, against the Mystics, she scored 30 points, which was a tie for her career high. So she tied her career high with 30 points, and they also got the win in a really close game, 85-83. Also, she tied a WNBA rookie record with 7 3-pointers, joining Crystal Robinson as the only player to make that many shots from behind the arc in their first year. Her 7 threes were also the most in a game in Fever history. She broke Tamika Catching's record of 6 3-pointers, which she set back in 2002. Clark also grabbed 8 rebounds and handed out 6 assists. And honestly, the big one that got me is that she joined New York Liberty star Sabrina Ionesco as the only rookie to put up a 35-5 line in WNBA history as a rookie. So that's huge. So one thing we want to note for fantasy that she will pick up, the turnovers continue. The same night she had 8 turnovers, but she also grabbed 4 steals, which is a big deal, and she played 39 minutes. In the end, she had 59 fantasy points according to ESPN standard scoring. On the 2nd of June against New York, she had 29 minutes, 3 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, and 3 turnovers, a total of 17 fantasy points. On June 1st, Against Chicago, she had 37 minutes or played 37 minutes, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, no blocks, 5 turnovers, a total of 29 fantasy points. So she continues to get better. She has like peaks and valleys, but honestly, the news of this week, well, there's really 2 pieces of news, but the big one was the shove heard across the world. We talked a little bit about it last week, but what I want to dig into a little bit this week is how Kennedy Carter, the girl who gave her the cheap shot in the back, is honestly like, she's getting a glow up right now in the media. Like, yes, people hate on her, but people haven't been talking about her before. So like now I'm looking at her fantasy outlook, and she is the most added person on ESPN for WNBA Fantasy right now. But also, she's in hundreds and maybe even thousands of videos on YouTube where people are talking about the situation. So villains sell too, right? You might not get a big sneaker deal as a villain. For example, Dylan Brooks, players like, Draymond Green. These guys do get deals. They start podcasts. So I think Kennedy Carter is going to actually capitalize on this moment and this fame that she's getting from the bump heard across the world, the shove heard across the world, I should say. The other thing that happened this week with Caitlin Clark, which is kind of wild, was the fact that she was snubbed from the Olympic team. Now, listen, I don't know everything, but I know one thing. If you have a person who is attracting fans to a game, then you want that person to play the game, right? Kobe Bryant made the NBA All-Star game his rookie year because he was bringing attention to the game. Kobe, his rookie year, I think he averaged single digits, y'all. It wasn't because he was really good, because he wasn't really good yet. He had potential, but he was popular as heck. Caitlin Clark might not be as good as some of those players, right? I don't know all of the details around everyone on the roster, but I would say this. If I was building a roster of the best players in the world, I would consider putting her on the team, and I would listen. The reason that they gave for this, y'all, this decision, they said that, and this is from an insider, they said they feared that Caitlin Clark's fan base would distract people from the real goal, which was the gold medal. What? So you, on one hand, are saying, hey, we want to get more eyes on the game. Like, we need people to see the WNBA. We don't have enough fans. It's crickets in here. Cricket, right? But on the other side of it, you're saying, hey, we want more fans, but we don't want her fans because her fans will distract us from the game. Because if she doesn't get playing time, they're going to be really angry, and we don't want that kind of publicity. You can't say you want more eyes on the game and then turn around and when you get more eyes on the game, say you don't want them because they're not the right eyes. Eyes are eyes. I'm telling you, USA Basketball totally botched this opportunity. And if the WNBA don't get their shish kebabs in order, they gonna jack up and fungi up their situation as well. I'm just saying. I want to talk about Underdog. I am super excited to talk about one of our favorite fantasy sports partners, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is the best place to play fantasy sports, including best ball, daily drafts, and pick'em. Start drafting in minutes for a shot at big cash and an enhanced game-watching experience. Sign up today and use the promo code GAMEPICK. That's GAMEPICK. And Underdog will match your first deposit up to $250. You know what that means? If you put $50 down, they'll give you 100. If you put 100 down, they give you 200. If you put 200 down, they give you 400. And if you do 250, you get 500. It's like getting free money. Don't miss out on your chance to double up from the jump. To sign up, download the Underdog Fantasy app on Android or iOS. And don't forget, use the promo code GAMEPICK. You will be supporting the channel. Now, let's get into the top 5. Let's get into the top 5 waiver wire targets you need to focus on for week 5 of the WNBA Fantasy Basketball season. First up is someone that I haven't really seen anyone talking about. And honestly, this name might not ring bells for fantasy basketball, but she is widely available and she's putting up pretty consistent numbers and she's getting playing time, which for me can always equate to some type of value. Her name is Bridget Carlton from the Minnesota Lynx. She's only rostered in 10.1% of ESPN leagues right now. Over the last 7 days, she's averaging 29.3 minutes per game. Yes, 7.3 points, 3.7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block per game. Yes, listen, if she's available and you just need to stream somebody in this week, and also maybe you want to wait it out and see if she has long-term value, definitely someone I would take a look at. The next player we want to talk about from the New York Liberty is Kayla Thornton. I feel like we've discussed her before on the channel, but she is still not rostered in enough places. She's only rostered in 8.3% of ESPN leagues. Over the last 7 days, she's averaging 23.3 minutes per game, 5 points per game, 1.5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.3 steals, yes, and 0.3 blocks. Definitely somebody worth giving a look at if she's available. Next up, AKA I will push you in your back, Kennedy Carter from the Chicago Sky. Now listen, she has been definitely on her grind when it comes to fantasy basketball value, but her rostership across ESPN platforms is rising. She's getting picked up by 22.9%, an increase of 22.9%, and she's actually only rostered in less than 50% of leagues, 32.2% of leagues to be exact. So Kennedy Carter is available. Now, listen, when it comes to fantasy, I don't care who you pushed, what your situation is off the court, I'm going to put you on my roster. I'm just saying, yo. So Kennedy Carter, although I don't agree with the way that she handled that situation with, hitting Caitlin Clark with the shove heard across the world. Listen, I had Miles Bridges on my daggone roster for men's NBA basketball, and he is a daggone woman beater. Like, I don't condone that behavior. I don't support that. But it's fantasy. And listen, he's available. I grabbed him. So for Kennedy Carter, listen, if you're playing in the WNBA league and you're a big fan of Caitlin Clark, like, so what? Just grab Kennedy Carter. If she's available, you'll get some value. Next up is Sivgi Uzan from the Dallas Wings. She is only rostered in 9.9% of leagues over the last 7 days. Check this out, y'all. 32 minutes per game. Yes. 8.3 points per game. Come on. 3.3 rebounds and 3 assists. For a big, I like that. Oh, sorry. For a guard, my apologies. For a guard, that is not good. My apologies. I thought that was a C, not a G. 1.7 steals. That's good. Very, very good. And next up, another player that we have spoken about on the channel. I told you to grab her when she first signed with the Las Vegas Aces. She came out of retirement to join them, and she was like kind of just getting back into the swing of things. Now she's officially on the court. Tiffany Hayes. Tiffany Hayes over the last 7 days is averaging 22 minutes per game, 8 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 4 assists. Yes, 1 steal per game. She is still available. She's only rostered in 9.3% of leagues, so she is widely available. Definitely someone you want to take a look at. Next up, we want to talk about Drip. Attention collectors and sports enthusiasts. Discover Drip, your ultimate online shopping space for collectibles and sports cards. Sign up using our link, bit.ly/drip250. That's bit.ly/DRIP, the numbers 250, and receive up to $250 in credit for free. Let that sink in. Basically, when you sign up, you can get anywhere from $10 to $250. It's almost like a game, y'all. So you might get 150, you might get 50, you might get 10, you might get 250 at the max. And here's the really dope part about all of that. You can actually use your credit immediately. So you can go to a live stream on the app and actually bid on different collectibles that you're interested in and get them right now as soon as you sign up. So it's, again, just like getting free money. Everything we do for you guys is to bring you value. So there are no strings attached, right? Join the Drip community today and enhance your collection without breaking the bank. Don't miss out. Claim your free credit now while this offer lasts. Sign up at bit.ly/drip250. Drip, where every purchase tells a story. Next up, we're going to dig into our NBA Dynasty risers and fallers for June 2024. We did this last week, and I'm not sure if folks really are into it yet, but I'm going to keep doing it until we get more feedback. So if you could do me a favor, if you want more NBA Dynasty content, just comment the words Dynasty on the YouTube channel. If you're listening to this, you can go to the YouTube channel and go ahead and drop the comment there. So before we talk about the risers and fallers, I want to just share the top 10 for Dynasty, which is very stable. There's been no movement for the last few weeks. Number 10, Joel Embiid. Number 9, Anthony Edwards. Number 8, Scotty Barnes. Not sure how I feel about Scotty Barnes being in the top 10. I want to believe it, but honestly, I don't know if I do. Number 7, Jason Tatum. Number 6, Chet Holmgren. Huge to have him there in the top 10. Tyrese Halliburton at number 5 makes sense. Nikola Jokic at 4. So he is falling with age. Number 3, Luka Doncic. Number 2, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And number 1, Victor Wembanyama. Wow. Now let's get into our risers. The first riser we want to talk about is Domantas Sabonis. He is up 3 spots up to number 19. So he's up 3 spots up to number 19. Next, we got Jalen Williams, who is up 8 spots to number 26. Then we have Brandon Miller, up 9 spots to 43. This one is super surprising, y'all. This one blew my mind when I saw it because he's an older player. Kyrie Irving is up 7 spots. I don't know if it's because of the finals or what, because he's buzzing right now, because he's doing this whole redemption tour, but he's up 7 spots up to 46 in Dynasty. And then a really interesting one, Emmanuel Quickley is up 8 spots to 49. Now let's take a look at our fallers. We got, this one it's going to continue to fall, but Steph Curry is down 3 spots to 32. He will continue to drop. So if you have Steph Curry on your Dynasty team, this might be the season to move him. And if you're really smart around your Dynasty team, you don't want to necessarily do a fair trade for today, right? It might not be a, hey, give me, Steph Curry for Kevin Durant type deal. It might not be that. It might be a situation where you're looking at a player like a Brandon Miller. You're looking at a player like a Jalen Johnson. You're looking at a player like maybe even a Tyrese Maxey, someone who has tons of potential for the future. So you might take a small loss now, but it might be a big win later. So a good example of this, and I talk about it all the time, a few years ago with my buddy Bill the Professor, I traded him a bunch of players to get Luka Doncic. One of the primary players, or my main piece, was DeMar DeRozan, who at the time was playing for San Antonio and was killing. He was performing on a way higher level than Luka Doncic at the time, but I just had a hunch that Luka was going to be special, and it definitely paid off for me. On the other side of that, the Professor and I did a deal years ago where I had Tyrese Halliburton, and I gave up Tyrese Halliburton to get Evan Mobley because I believed in Evan Mobley, but in the end, he won that one. So there's a bit of risk involved, but you want to make sure that you're always thinking ahead when moving those older players. Another shocking faller is Darius Garland. He is down 14 points, 14 positions, guys. Like, that is wildly concerning. So Garland is down 14 spots to number 35. Jaylen Brown is down 4 spots to number 40. Anthony Simons is down 8 spots to number 52. Yuck. And this one is really bad, y'all. Jaime Jaquez is down 32 spots to 114, outside of the top 100. I'm telling you, the man right now for Dynasty reeks of dumpster juice. Warm hot dog water. It is not a good look. Your man is stinking up the joint. Really stinking up the joint. So, we need you to be a two-way player. Yes, on offense, we need you to watch the YouTube channel, but on defense, we need you to listen to the podcast. We are a part of the Believe Network, but it is very important that you guys listen to the podcast. If you don't listen to podcasts, this would be an amazing time to do so. If you're just playing defense, listening to the podcast, and you've listened to us a couple times, please come over to the YouTube channel. It don't hurt. It don't cost you nothing. We make the content for free. All that we ask is that you guys check out the content, and if you can, share it with one person. I know for fantasy, you don't want to be sharing your secret information, but if you could find it in your heart, that one league mate that you want to see them do well, where if you don't win, you'd be happy if they won, please send them a text right now and share the YouTube and podcast with them. The last thing before we get out of here, I got to talk about Arike Ogunbowale from the Dallas Wings. Oh, my God. When I tell you, yo, it is insane, yo. It is insane. I got to pull it up, because if I don't pull it up, I'm going to be like, I just got to pull it up. So this, I'll start by saying this. She is one of the elite players in the WNBA. She is one of the elite players in the WNBA. This is our first time covering WNBA Fantasy and WNBA. And in my research, she is that woman, right? She puts up numbers. She is respected. So I'll start by saying that. But, oh, baby, she dropped the ball, y'all. She dropped the ball. Let me get the exact quote for you guys, because I cannot believe this shish kebab. I cannot believe this crapola. It is bad. It is bad. It is bad. So basically, she did a press conference recently, and in the press conference, she was asked about the situation with getting fouled hard by Alicia Clark, right? So both players were on the ground. And after the game, she was asked about the physicality in the game, and especially the situation with Caitlin Clark. And she said this. I mean, obviously, that's what I've been able to go against, but I've seen it since I've been watching the WNBA since I was young. Literally nothing new. Like, you get fouled. Her tone even, like, I'm reading this and her tone sounds crazy. Like, you get fouled. That's what it is. The men get fouled. I don't see people saying, oh, why did he do this? It's basketball. It's going to be physical. We're going to compete. Some people might get knocked down. Some people bleed, and that's basketball. And then she goes on. It gets, oh, my God. She said, It's no different, man or woman, so nothing's a surprise. I fall on the floor. Glory to God, I get back up. I like that she said glory to God. I'll take that. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do. Wait a minute. You don't get up? Oh, Lord, give me the strength. And that's just basketball. I don't really talk about media, but it just kind of annoys me how much of a big deal they make about physicality. Because, I mean, obviously, the new people, this is where it gets ugly, y'all. And I'm going to unpack this further. This is where it gets ugly, though. She says, obviously the new people, they might be like, oh, this is tough, but this is just what it's been. It's basketball. Like I said, it's basketball. It's not women being catty. It's not this, it's basketball. So the narrative has to stop of people doing this or doing that. Like it's gonna be physical. This is where it gets ugly, y'all. So if you don't want to go watch this, go watch golf or something. Lord, give me the strength. Go watch golf or something. If you are a new fan and you don't like the physicality of the league, go watch something else. Go watch golf or something. I cannot, y'all. I cannot. So this is what I compare it to, right? Let's say I work at Target, right? I work at Target. I got the red vest on. I got the scanner to check your items for the prices. You know what I'm saying? I'm stocking stuff. I'm working. You come up to me. You like, hey, excuse me, you work here? Yeah, I work here. How can I help you? Yeah, I was pushing my aisle through the car, through the aisles here. I was pushing my car through the aisles, and I just wanted to let you know that the width of your aisles is unsatisfactory, man. Y'all gotta make these aisles wider so I can get through. I'm bumping into people. Like my kids are here. My kid is in the daggone car. Her elbows is getting nudged by other people going by. It just ain't cool, man. Like when y'all gonna make wider aisles? If I was Enrique Ogunbowale, I would respond something like, you want me to do what? The aisle's been like this. The aisles have always been this size. This is the way we do aisles at Target. And if you don't like the aisles at Target, you could take your butt to Walmart. Don't watch Target, watch Walmart. Anything else? What? Since when we provide services or products, or we have clients and customers, do we do that? She don't own the WNBA. She's not the CEO. She works there. So this is not even on her. This is on the WNBA. I'll take it a little further. Let's say I'm like a small business, a local lemonade stand. You come up and you like, hey, hi, love everything you do. Oh, thank you. I've never met you before. We passed by a couple of times. We never stopped, but we see that you're a new business and we just wanted to come and support you. Well, thank you for coming. We appreciate that. Oh, no problem at all. No problem. So we see you have lemonade here. You got peach lemonade? No, we don't have peach lemonade. We make lemon lemonade. Thus the name Lemonade Stand. No, we really would like peach. Are you guys thinking about adding that to your menu? The way she responded. Wait a minute. You see the sign, it says lemonade stand. It's been a lemonade stand since we got here, and now you asking me to make peach lemonade? If you want peach lemonade, why don't you fricking go to Starbucks? Because this ain't your lemonade stand, fam. Come on, yo. You got new fans coming to watch the game. If they have concerns about the physicality, maybe pass on the freaking question. Honestly, I want to stick to talk. I just want to talk about the game tonight. Like, I can appreciate the question, but let's talk about the game tonight. You don't got to do that. Don't tell them to go play golf. So, listen, this is not, again, any indictment on the young lady who made these statements or the woman who made these statements. This is really an indictment on the league. The league got to get this together. You have to, because the WNBA is on the cusp of blowing maybe the biggest opportunity in women's basketball history. If they don't get this right, it's going to be a total disservice to all of the players that came before Caitlin Clark. It's going to be like, it's just whack, yo. Like, let's get this right. People like her, let's push her up, and let's not push away the new fans. If you want more WNBA, make sure you check out this playlist right here. We'll see you next episode. This episode was presented to you by BetOnline.